Once upon a time, there was a woman who started a project pan and then she bought a whole bunch of new products. The end. I feel like that could be my story. So I started off the year doing a project pan, giving monthly updates, rotating through products. And yeah, I think around the time of the Sephora savings event, there were just so many products built up that I wanted to try that the makeup purchase gates just sort of broke. And I have been buying a lot of new makeup since then, and I am okay with that because I have realized that I really want to review new products. I want to test things for you, tell you all about them. So I have decided to sort of loosen the reins a little bit. So today I want to go through the products that I had selected at my last monthly update. Then I want to talk to you about my approach for this project pan going forward. Let's get into looking at the products that I had selected several months ago for my project pan. Here is my little project pan bin. I leave this sitting out on my vanity so that I can just grab the things that I am focusing on for the month. These products have been sitting here for a while. That doesn't mean they haven't been used, but I will say I'm actually actively dusting the bin right now while I am telling you about this. First up, let's talk about this Glossier Stretch Foundation. You can probably tell that this is just about empty. This is probably the biggest sort of success from doing a project pan is rediscovering my love of this foundation. So she's not empty yet, but she is getting there. I also had two concealers here that I have been working on. One is the Givenchy Prisma Libre Skin Caring. Is it the Skin Caring? It is! I got the name! The Givenchy Prism Libre Skin Caring Concealer. Focus. Let's do it. And then I have this Pat McGrath concealer, which I think you can tell is maybe about halfway gone. I don't know, maybe more than that. I'm looking at it holding up to the light. So yes, I've been making good progress on both of these. I have also my Victoria Beckham Contour Stylus that I don't know. Have I used it a lot? I mean, I've brought some other contour products. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, in the first month that I was doing my project pan with this set, I used it a lot. Let's keep going. I think I had in here some other things that were very sort of like everyday products that I use. I've got my Rare Beauty eyebrow gel, which is great. And then I've got my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, and I actually had just opened this one in the last several weeks. I had the empty that was sitting in my project pan that had gone to my empties bag, and I talked about my empties video. So this is actually another product that I did use up. And then I had pulled three different blushes here. I had my bright red Tower 28. I had Gucci blush, which is stunning. And then I pulled this deeper shade of this Say blush. Why is it that if I'm talking about blush, I have to swatch it? Why? Like, it's not enough for me to just tell you this is a blush and to show you, the package. If it's a blush, then I have to actually get it out, put it on my hand, because blush is fun. Okay, so there are the three blushes that I had pulled for this project pan, and they are all beautiful, of course. And then I had 5 eyeshadow palettes. 5. So I've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, this one. And this is actually what I'm wearing today. Actually, I'm wearing a bunch of these products today. So I am wearing this eyeshadow palette, with the exception of what is in my inner corner, and that is actually from another eyeshadow palette in my project pan, which is the I Need a Nude palette. Staple. I picked up some of this beautiful shimmery pink shade here for the inner corner. And then I also had in here the Sultry palette by ABH. I got some use out of this. I think I had at one point put this in Purgatory and I pulled it back out. And yes, there are some beautiful shadows in here that I really have enjoyed. And then I put in the retro palette, which I have to be careful holding up because one of the shades is shattered. And then I had put in Mothership 2. I did use these quite a bit, but I brought a lot of new products into my collection. I have decided in terms of going forward with this project pan is that, hold please, glasses, is that I am not going to put sort of everyday staple products in my project pan. So that means definitely eyeshadow primer and eyebrow gel. It doesn't make sense to put things like this in project pan because I'm going to use them. I'm going to use them every single day. I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to get my money out of these kind of products. In truth, right now, it does not make sense for me to put blush in my project pan because I am on a blush buying spree. And right now, I have so many blushes that I've just brought in that I need to test that I really would not get a lot of use out of anything blush related that I put in here. So where does that leave me? I I'm gonna go ahead and pull some eyeshadow palettes today because, gosh, guys, I do have some that I really, really want to get more use out of that I even feel like I need to test more. I mean, these are newer eyeshadow palettes that I just sort of used, blew right past, and kept buying more eyeshadow palettes. So I do have some eyeshadow palettes that maybe I want to pull into a project pan, and then other than that, the thing that I've decided that I want to do is focus on using my eyeliner pencils more because I have got some really great eyeliner pencils here that I really, really love. They're great from a performance standpoint. I have some really fun colors that I think work beautifully with the eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection and my style, and I want to use them more, but they do kind of sit further back on my vanity. And, a lot of times I just go with, my Endless Cacao pencil on the bottom and my brown on the top, and I really want to use these. So let me swatch these for you guys because I want you to see how great these are. I have 3 of the Satin Kajal liners from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I have this plum shade, a goldy bronze, and a silver. So there are those 3 there. I've had a problem with these in the past, sort of smudging out to nothingness, but I always find myself coming back and wanting to try again because the shades are really, really beautiful. I mean, just about everything that Victoria Beckham makes is really elegant, is probably a good word for it. So I've got these. I've got quite an eyeliner collection here, guys. Okay, so those are the Victoria Beckham Beauty. And then I also have a stash of really fun Beauty Pie eyeliners. I have 4 of these sort of shimmery eyeliners from Beauty Pie, and then I have 2 here that are more sort of flat, but great colors. So these are the Beauty Pie down here. So you can see there that I have a plum, a gunmetal, a green metallic, I've got a bronze, and then I've got sort of that flat matte navy and a gray. So I've got quite a range here, and I really would like to get more use out of these because I really think they're beautiful, and I hate that I'm not using them. So I want to incorporate these more into my routine. So these are going to be a part of my project pan. Hold, I am finding a place for them before I lose my train of thought on that. I have other eyeliners, of course, but those are kind of like my fun ones. And only since I've been sitting here, I just want to show you the dry down on the Beauty Pie eyeliners. So let's see. So you can see there that they are drawn in. And now let me run my finger. Okay, the gray one, obviously, down here was the last one that I put down, but guys, do you see that? Look at that dry down. That's awesome. I mean, so just that's what I was talking about with the performance thing. These are phenomenal eyeliners. I wanna use them. I'm going to use them. I think that for my project pan, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna put in here before we get into eyeshadow, I'm going to put in here some of the things that I know I'm going to be testing so that I can give you updates on later. So that includes this new blush from Say that I picked up that has this peachy color. I believe this is called Peach Glow, and this is actually the blush that I'm wearing today, and I really love it. I am surprised by how much I love the look of this once it is applied. It's far less offensive than I thought it would be. So we've got this blush. Then I have a Say blush. Woo! Excuse you. Then I've got this Super Suede blush in Mia. So this is a part of the spring launch that Say had for these beautiful Super Suede blushes. You can see Mia there. Gorgeous. So I'm going to put both of those in. Let's see, other complexion products. Well, obviously, I've got the new Hourglass Quad that I picked up that I want to continue testing. I know that I absolutely love the blush and the bronzer. Not so sure about these. This is the highlighter, and that's the finishing powder. I picked it even though it was darker because I already had the lighter ones. So still need to play with that to see if either of those work. But yes, still officially testing that along with this Say product, which is sort of a multi-use highlighting product that you can put, for instance, on your collarbones or what have you, but it's also for applying underneath foundation or with your foundation to create a glowy, shimmery look. I want to keep testing this and see if there is an application that works well for me. So this is in the color Rose Glow. Oh, I haven't tried this yet. I mean, I know this is just a little mini, but this is one of the Hourglass blushes that I recently hauled. I think people like the formula, but complained about the packaging. So I haven't even really looked at the formula. So I know that I want to do those products that I recently picked up. And with that, I guess let's talk eyeshadow. Hold please for a repositioning of the camera. Okay, let's dig around in my makeup drawer. Here on top, obviously, I have my Project Pan bin. And I've sort of separated out the colorful eyeliners that I want to use. Let's dig around in here. This is where I keep the bulk of my makeup. Over here, we've got setting powders, some blushes, some contour. I'm kind of inclined, even though I said I wasn't going to pull this contour out. You know, I'm going to pull both of these. See, I'm already doing what I said I wasn't going to do. I want to use both of these more and I don't know, do more side-by-side testing. So yes, I'm going to pull those there. Okay. And then this is really a lot of blush. I do have some bronzer products here. This is a Pat McGrath bronzer, and then this is the sort of Bronze and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury that has a highlighter and a bronzer. So I'm not going to worry about either of those. I've got some other foundations, powder foundations, stuff like that. So we're not going to get into any of that. Let's get into eyeshadow because there's a lot going on here. And I have brought a lot of new eyeshadow into my collection since doing my eyeshadow inventory video. And I am kind of wondering if it is time to do a ranking video of the new eyeshadow that I have picked up this year. In fact, yes, I think I am going to do it. I'm going to bite the bullet and do that really hard thing. Palettes that I feel like I've picked up that I haven't gotten a lot of use of. I actually feel like I've gotten good use out of the many Viseart palettes that I have brought in. Love, love, love. Have no trouble using those. One palette that I have not really used very much that I want to get more use out of. Let's see. This is all Natasha. Do I want to give this a shot? Yes, I want to give that a shot. Okay. Okay, here she is. Roxa. Yeah, I have barely used Roxa. In fact, let me see if I can open this with one hand. You guys, look at those shadows. You can tell barely touched. This is a travesty that cannot be allowed to stand. Project pan. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Good there. Got some Lisa Eldridge, all my Natasha Denona minis. Let's see. You guys, I hate to say this, but while we're digging around in all my Natasha Denona, it has got to be close to time for her to release a new palette. Is anybody else just sort of waiting? I'm kind of waiting. I know it's close. Okay, I can feel it. Okay. Well, clearly back here, y'all know how I feel about this palette. Ugh, so sad. Okay. Okay. Yes. Icy Nude. I am going to pull out Icy Nude because I think I've even used Icy Nude in a project pan, but I still just feel like I've barely used this palette, you guys. Let's open her up. Oh, this one's harder to open with one hand. Let's see. And no nails. Okay. Whoa! Avalanche! There we go. I mean, you can see, I think I've used this more than I've used Roxa. So a little bit more use, but yeah, I want to get more use out of this. I want to play with it more. I want to learn it more. So yes, we're going to pull that in. So does this mean these are the only palettes that I am going to use? No. It simply means that I am going to play with those more. And you may not even see me do looks with them. It's not about that. This is just about getting some use out of those products and deciding how I feel about them. I kind of feel like this one too, guys. You know, here's what's funny about this. So this is, of course, one of Natasha's older palettes. I think this is the Leela palette. Yes, this is the Leela palette. This formula, it's true, you guys. This formula is so different than Natasha's current formula. And you guys know I love Natasha's new releases. I love the Bloom palette, but this is just so different. It's so like buttery. All of them have like this totally different feel to them. I almost don't know how to effectively use her older palettes because the formula is that different. So I'm going to pull this too. Okay, so we've got our eyeshadow pulled. Yes, I am going to be using other things, and I don't know, would it surprise you to know that I actually have some other eyeshadow that I haven't even tested on camera for you guys, haven't even told you about? So I do have another eyeshadow testing video coming for a totally different brand, but here we go. This is what we're going to play with for my project pan. Slightly different approach. It's basically becoming my ongoing testing bin plus some other things that I want to get more use out of, either because I haven't used them enough or because I want to form a better opinion about them. And in the case of the eyeliners, just stuff that's more fun. So that is what we are going with this month. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.